My name is Kristy Hughes, and I'm a 2025 artist resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. I collect a lot of photos from my environment. This is my grandparents' house in New Mexico, Lee Bontehu, my queen. My student's shirt with good patterns. This is the sacred table. Books are my first love. They are the way that I have started to unlock different ways of understanding the world, of myself. I started making sculptures as a way to learn to have agency. How I felt in the world was invisible and small and like I had no voice, but I knew how to build something that demanded to be seen. And so I built really, really big, really colorful, unapologetic. You literally couldn't not see it because it's 12 foot tall. And I'm 5 foot tall, you know, and it's like, I can't say anything, but look at this humongous thing. So this is how most of my sculptures start. I build out of humble materials. So construction board, I welded this armature. I also hand make paper pulp that is made out of collected paper that I find around my neighborhood, and then I pulverize it. This is the fancy blending station. I have learned to also love building the form, from the welding of the armature to the burning yourself with the glue gun 1,000 times, figuring out how this thing wants to be in the world. As I'm building and thinking and things are drying, I'll make these smaller paintings and then using them as jumping off points for experimentation. It's really helpful for me to not be precious with them. Art takes the time that it takes, which is 1,000 million hours. You spend 30 hours painting stripes, and if it looks horrible and nobody sees it, that's totally okay. I've been thinking about how making art holds me. Words and poems and writings, they hold all this meaning. And so I've been putting as offerings or prayers, I've been putting them into the sculptures, like literally burying them inside as I'm making the work. So now the sculpture is literally holding my words, or the poems of Audre Lorde or Octavia Butler, or things that friends have said, or notes of encouragement to people, or notes of encouragement to myself too. I'm playing with shapes and colors, and it's abstract, and it's okay if it's just like, whoa, look at those fun shapes, and oh my gosh, the color. That is enough for the viewer to see, but also it's really special for me to know that this piece is about care, and these are all the things that I've written about it and buried them into the piece itself. Grandpa Lopez was a pastor, my dad is a pastor. So I grew up in the church and in this understanding of deep faith and belief in something. And I also grew up kind of seeing all of my family build something out of nothing. That was never like a deterrent. It was like, how can we figure something out? Instead of just completely running away from all of that, I've kind of circled back and have underscored, how do I pray? Reclaiming that identity of making something out of nothing. And so the way that I work is through using humble materials and building something that maybe shouldn't work, but it does work. And I really believe in that type of endurance. It's through painting stripes for hours, right? Or like devotion and care. It's almost like you're building magic all at once, and it doesn't make sense, and it makes the most sense in the whole world, and time just goes by, months go by, like hours just leave, and you somehow are transposed from your body into materials, into something you see, and it holds meaning, it holds you.
My name is Scherezade García, and I am a 2025 artist resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. I am originally from the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. I always been into history. I have a lot of artists, writers, teachers in my family, but I can see how that comes afloat in everything and all my interests. History was always there. We were very conscious about that we came from a lot of connection in Europe, very Spanish, also France, lots of Africa. We understood that. And that came very fast and fierce to be the core value of my work. This idea of the identity that is very fluid. So I like the fact that this starts of like pieces of painting that I cut. then my own paintings, silk screen, and then I made a collage, and then I scan it, then I enlarge, then I printed on fabric archival inkjet, and then after that I start painting over. So in a way, I start hacking, retelling my own history, and hacking the history that is being told to us as well. I love the fact that it can feel very three-dimensional, and you can see in the shadows. I am about movement, encounter, accumulation, but also how I am is about this urgency to communicate. I am very social, so I want the result like that. And acrylic, watercolor, ink, always have that urgency. It has to be the right brushstroke. And I love that danger. I never use erasers, no believer. You know, if it's that, then if I don't like it, forget it, we have to do another one. There is a lot of that idea of women power. My portraits, quasi-portraits, are what I call collective portraits. They are not anybody specific. I mix people. My usual muses are my grandmother, my great aunts, my daughters. I use beauty as a way to tell hard stories. Before any of my big exhibitions, I read a lot. I go to archives. I do a lot of interviews because I love people. And I think people are a wonderful way to archive information. And I done a lot of that. So when I came here, I was ready to explode. It was like, oh my God, I have all my tools, I have the space, and everything is like, it needs to get out. And my work is like that. It's about immediate movement, energy, action. So that's what I've been doing. There's so much beauty in just the everyday. Just the fact that the sun comes out and everything comes so green, and then the light comes and it starts raining, and then there is a veil of another pink color that changes everything. That makes me happy. But my happy place is when I am at the moment in the studio. That is like, yeah, my ultimate joy.
My name is Kyrin Hobson, and I am a 2025 artist resident at the Sam and Adele Golden Foundation for the Arts. I think so many of us are searching for a cultural tie, a way to be a part of things. Specifically for somebody who identifies as a Black American, there's this desire, I call it cultural anemoia, the longing for something that you have not directly experienced yourself, but you feel it so strongly that it's in your body. This piece looks at my Louisiana Creole heritage, the ways that women have moved and worked together to nurture each other, create kinship, and foster cultural continuity. And I've had a very specific focus on the practice of midwifery. I come from at least 5 known generations of Louisiana and Afro-Caribbean midwives, and I'm really proud of that. It's special to me. So here we have perhaps a laboring mother and a midwife, but we've got the ear piercing going in with the idea of pain transfer, but it's also principally an image of women taking care of each other at their most vulnerable. This painting is about cultural longing in the here and now, and what's depicted is my protagonist, who is almost always my daughter Camille. It's generational. The first painting I ever did in this series, I was painting a memory of my grandmother. I'm the artist. I'm using her great-granddaughter as a model, and I love the through line. But in this, my protagonist is actually trying to signal back through time to receive the downloads from the women that went before her. The body prints are just such a natural, intuitive evolution of the values that underlie my work. This piece is about freedom through mistakes in a way, and it's also just so much about embodiment and joy. It's so necessary for artists when we make mistakes. We have big ideas, we want to do something, and the mistake comes. You don't see that it's bearing gifts, because we're so conditioned against standing in what we don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was, oh, body. I want to like throw myself up against here and see what happens. I want to convey movement and make a document that I was here. These are prints from my own body, and the fragmentation and reformation is a new opportunity because I had to cut up a failure and find a way. I didn't want to lose it. So I mounted everything, and now I can like re-engineer body parts. But what better place to have an art accident? For me, I want the art to be fully available as a threshold for people to enter into and bring what they have, what they might know about their body, and say, oh, I feel something. There's something very visceral, very primal, very womanist in my intentions with my art. Those are the influences. Everything else is a method, a tool, an interpretation.